Welcome back, everyone. So something a little bit different today. I'm going to hand over the show to you guys. All of the bits and pieces coming up have been sent in to me via one of my moderators. They get to hear and listen and watch all the content before they send it on to me. This is from viewers that have been sending video and audio WhatsApp messages into the show on 07512 371 006. Let's get straight into it with this gentleman who sent in this question.
I don't understand what their big game plan is. Why do I say big game plan? What are they wanting to achieve, actually? We've got this chaos, not just in the UK, globally, with immigrants, or I can't say immigrants, sorry, various people. What are they trying to achieve? What is their game plan? What is their end goal? If we don't understand their end goal, we cannot fight it. And that's something I can't understand. We don't know what their end goal is. It's like action, action, reaction, But what are they trying to achieve? If somebody could look into that and understand that better, that would be brilliant. Because at least we know what we're trying to fight. Thank you very much for listening to me. And I'm looking forward to your next video.
Good question. What are they trying to achieve? Well, I don't think anyone's, sure. It seems they're trying to achieve the destruction of our culture and our country. But, it is a good question. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What are they trying to achieve? Let's get on to the first audio message. This is a lady from Belsize Park.
Dear Paul and team, just to let you know, I am praying. We are praying for really good men and women to be risen up in government. Lee Anderson, Nigel Farage, yes, Robert Jenrick. We're praying for some really good people. What there must not be is division, because I was absolutely horrified to hear the story of the lady who is seeing children not eat during the day, and the knife crime. Because I used to live in Belsize Park before I moved across town, and I always knew that Kentish Town was really, really bad.
So there you go. I mean, yes, indeed. That's the previous show I played an audio where a lady was talking about the kids not being able, many of the kids not even being able to eat during their school day. I mean, that should just not be happening in modern day Britain, should it? Let's have a little listen to this gentleman who talks about the horrible labelling of far right.
The worst possible term of abuse you can call someone is far right, because far right is Nazi, and Nazis were the lowest scum of the earth. So why are our politicians happy to go along with calling millions and millions of people the most abusive term they can call us?
Well, I think that's a great point, but I think the answer to it is fairly simple. I mean, using derogatory terms like that, which are clearly untrue, is aimed at shutting down debate and keeping people quiet. If you can scare people into keeping quiet, you win the battle, don't you? So, look, at first I was very upset by being called fascist and far right and whatever other silly labels they want to throw at me. But to be honest with you, look, when you know it's not true, why should it bother you? This message came in from a very emotional gentleman indeed. Have a little listen to this one and just think about what you're hearing.
Hello, Paul, mate. First time with this stuff, but just want to say I'll be there on the 26th. I'm 60-year-old. I've got a great grandson now, and I'm terrified the way my country's going. I'm English. I love my country. I hate to see the death of her. Please stand up with us all. I love you, Paul. God bless.
What an emotional message that really hits home, doesn't it? And I think when he says, please stand up, I think he's talking about everyone. Please stand up. Let's have a little listen to Londoner Tracy.
Hello, Paul. I'm Tracy. I'm 54 years old. I was born in Bethnal Green, London, 1970. The sound of the Bow Bells. My whole family is from London, the East End. My mum and dad, we moved out to Essex when I was sort of like in my younger years. And it's no better now in Essex than it is now in London. I'm devastated what's going on. Like, I'm 54, I've got a son who's 30 years old, and he's just a diamond. But yet, I'm turning around saying to her, like, I want grandchildren, right? I'd love grandchildren, but I've got to the stage saying to him, please don't have no children, which is heartbreaking, because all I can see is that they will never know life how we knew it. And like, you know, I don't have the words. It's just heartbreaking because it's, do you know what's so annoying? All this racial, like your colour, religion, it's not about any of that. It's about the principle of the matter. I always remember when we used to go abroad when I was younger, and even as I got in my later years, I used to go abroad, right, to Spain, even I've been to Canada, all these like other countries, right, you abide by their laws and their rules when you're out there, even on holiday, right, because you know what happens. They don't mess about, they will bang you up like that. And this is the problem, right, that it's about the principle of the matter. This is our country, our heritage. Do you know what I mean? My granddad fought for this country, took bullets for this country in our streets. You know, like back in the day, you could leave your doors open and like have like your street parties and no one worried. Yeah, you might have your back in the day like flasher macker bloke, right? But everyone dealt with that and everyone like knew. You know what I'm saying? Looked after each other. This is an absolute disaster. It's an absolute joke what's going on. And I'm at my end's ever. You know, for instance, you say about, all these immigrants, illegal immigrants and that, they're getting this, they're getting that, right? I've worked all my life, right? I'm still working now, and in fact, I'm on a 0 contract hours. I've been diagnosed with skin cancer. I've had 2 lots of surgery. I've had to have time off work. I've had no help, no financial help, no nothing, right? Only support of my own family. And, like, it's heartbreaking. Like, there's people that are born and bred here that are put into this country all their life. And when you're screaming out for help, you're not getting it. You'll never get it. And, like I said, the heartbreaking thing for me, I haven't got no grandchildren. I've only got one son. And, like, I'd love to have grandchildren. But I've said to my son, like, please don't have no children, because they won't ever know, and life won't be how it should be or how we know it. And like, my son's been brought up in Britain. It's heartbreaking. I'm so scared for like the future children and everything. I don't know, but I thank you. I thank you for what you're doing and your support. With like, I watch everything that you put out there, and you're amazing. And thank you to everybody else. Right, we are Brits, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It's frustrating, annoying, because we know what's right, and we know this is our country.
There's a common theme here. You can feel the agony, you can feel the pain, you can feel the frustration. And it's absolutely shocking and heartbreaking to hear. Just going to change the subject for a moment. The other day I was talking about the hate marches in London and how they shouldn't be allowed and how the Met Police need to clamp down on them. Now, this message was sent out on X by the Met Police. It says Hamas and Hezbollah are both proscribed organisations, meaning they are banned in the UK. We have seen examples of people at protests showing support for such organisations. Some of these cases have already resulted in convictions at court. The law is very clear. Anyone displaying symbols, wording or otherwise indicating support for a prescribed organisation risks arrest. The same is true for anyone who appears to be endorsing, celebrating or justifying the actions of those organisations. And I would say that there are thousands of people doing that on our streets every single Saturday afternoon. And I've got a message for them. I saw a clip from Andrew Neil the other day after the horrific murder of a brave police constable. I think it was back in about 2017. And this message from Andrew Neil just sums up what these terrorists need to understand about our country.
All welcome to this week. Keith Palmer had been a copper for 15 years, a husband, a dad, brother, uncle, public servant. Before joining the police, he'd been in the army, defending our nation. Yesterday, he was murdered defending our democracy, defending the very heart of our democracy from a barbarian at the gate, just doing his duty, reminding us of something that we badly needed reminding, that the most important people in this country are not the rich, the powerful, the famous, but those who run to confront the enemies of our civilization, while the rest of us are running away. First responders, like PC Palmer, brutally stabbed to death by a jumped-up jihadi, not fit to breathe the same air as the man he killed. Now, I know there are still some jihadi Johnnies out there who think they will eventually triumph because their love of death is greater than our love of life. So let me just say this to them. Do you have any idea who you're dealing with? This is the country that stood up alone to the might of the Luftwaffe, air force of the greatest evil mankind has ever known. If you think we're not going to be cowed by some pathetic Poundland terrorist in an estate car with a knife, then you're as delusional as you are malevolent. Yes, you have the power to hurt us. Sometimes the hurt is more than we can bear. But you cannot defeat us, because for every brainwashed, brain-dead Islamist you send to do us harm, we have thousands upon thousands of Keith Palmers. You find them in every walk of life, in every part of the land. They come in all shapes, all sizes, all colours, all faiths. They are the British people, and against them you will never prevail.
I think Sadiq Khan and Sir Mark Rowley should watch that video. Let's have a little listen to a lady that calls in about trade unions. Good point, this.
Hiya, Paul. Thanks for playing my message on Saturday night. Really looking forward to the 26th of October. Anyone who believes in the pledge, believes in this movement, if you are a part of a union, I would really check who your union is, as many of them have the complete opposite view of what we want for this country. The likes of Unison, Unite the Union, Fire Brigade Union, the Teachers Union, the National Education Union, they are all funding and supporting the counter-protest on the 26th. So, yeah, maybe worth finding another union if they don't go with what you stand for. Thank you.
What a great point about unions. This lady rung in about the suggestion that maybe it's time that we boycott London and shopping in London until the Mayor and the Met get these terrorist sympathisers off our streets so that we can all feel safe when we visit London. But I think this lady has a slightly different opinion.
Good afternoon, Paul. This is Lynn Marie from Leeds. I've just seen on the internet your question to everybody about the idea of encouraging a boycott of the shopping in London from now on. And I have had a very strong check in my spirit to get quickly back in touch with you and voice my concern. I don't think it would be a good idea at this point, to encourage for ourselves to be the instigators or encouraging people to actually take that kind of action, because I do strongly feel that it could backfire on us. And at the moment, things are going so very well with the pledge. Loads of people are supporting it, and there is a lot of interest and a lot of support in what we're trying to do in getting united against what is being done at the moment and in view of the next election. And I think that attracting attention to us, on this point of the shopping in London, and being responsible for having encouraged that, ourselves instigated that is would be a big problem, and it could really harm all the good that's been done with the pledge and everything. So let us not do that. People are very well aware who are in London. So many of them have already made the decision that they are not bothering to go shopping in London. And let's face it, so expensive anyway, who can really afford to go there? So there's already a good incentive that people are getting, of not bothering, cutting themselves off from that. So I think we should leave it at that. I think we should do everything we can to protect the work that we are doing, that you and the guys are, really pioneering towards our next election, towards uniting for, getting our country back and rallying around the pledge, which is excellent. And thank you so much to you and Richard and Tommy and Danny and everybody there who's worked hard on everything. Look forward to seeing the stream with you and Tommy tomorrow. Have a blessed Sunday. I was at a lovely service this morning, and afterwards when we had the fellowship, I did share with the people I could. At least that made a start about the pledge and pointed them towards, the internet sign for the pledge, link for the pledge, so that they can go on there, read it, and sign and join. Okay, God bless you lots. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for that. One lady there, she doesn't think a boycott will be a good idea. I get her point. Like I said the other day, we're trying to think of new ways that we can peacefully and legally register our discontent. This lady had another idea.
Hi, my name's Julie, and I'd just like to say a couple of things. The first thing is, I hear that a lot of the illegal immigrants apparently coming over on the boats, now 1 in 100, more than any other European country, have HIV. Now, if these aren't being treated, they commit offences against our members of the public, that actually means that they could be giving them a nasty disease, which should be in the public's interest. Also, if they are being treated, it's costing us, the taxpayers, a lot of money. The second thing I'd like to say is, people are saying, oh, we can vote, Labour out in 5 years' time. I'm not quite sure if that will be possible, because I don't think there may be a vote in 5 years' time. I think that in 5 years' time, this may not be a democratic country anymore, which is very worrying. The third thing I'd like to say is why I have gone to all the Unite the Kingdom rallies. Even though my health is very bad, it's the safest I've ever felt in ages with people. So please do attend and don't worry. I mean, I'm safer there than I am in my hometown of Harlow, which for the first time I went to the town centre in 2 years and got a group of young boys with balaclavas and a knife held towards me. Luckily for my purse and phone, luckily some young girls could see what was going on and pulled me to one side and was explaining how it's not safe anymore. But my point is, why can't the whole country just stay at home for the day so we're not out on the streets? Do not go to work. Do not send your kids to school for one day to get a message across to the Westminster bubble. We are not going to stand for this anymore. That way, we are causing no harm. We are causing no trouble on the streets. The only people on the streets will probably be the Islamists and the clowns that are running around saying that we're all far right, we're all racist, etc. Could you imagine if we'd done that? What that would do to the stock exchange, what it would do to the whole country. Obviously, emergency services would need to stay and be out. But other than that, if everyone else done that for one day, it would hit their pockets. And that's the only thing they understand. They don't care about us, the general decent people. They only care about themselves and lining their own pockets. So I think that may be a way to hit them hard. Yes, there are some people that can't afford to lose a day's money, but we need to stop being self-serving, and we can help those people while cooking your evening meal or your lunch. You can do extra and give to the families that you know can't afford that day off. Because community, it's about community. I think now a lot of people, whether they mean to be or not, are self-serving. We cannot be self-serving anymore. We have to be community. We have to work together to save this country. And I'd like to say I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the 26th. The whole team, you really are leading us, and this is what the country needs. Everybody needs to wake up. No good saying, well, it doesn't affect me. Yes, it does. It's affecting everyone. Look at the potholes on your roads. Look at how long you have to wait for a doctor's appointment. Look at how hard it is to get a child into school, and ask yourself why. So it does affect everybody, and we may not have a vote in 5 years' time. The way Mr. Starmer is going, nothing would surprise me. Thank you for your time. You all take care and stay safe. And please all keep your chin ups, everyone. And the last thing is, Paul, you said it seems to be the women coming forward. Yeah. What's the quote? The old-fashioned quote, which may not politically be correct. Behind every good man is a good woman. That's just a joke. But we all need to stand together. Skin colour doesn't matter. It's not about it's all about values. And if what is in your heart. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
What a great message. So many points to go through there. I mean, I'm not sure about the stats that she mentioned at the start about the migrants bringing HIV into the country. Look, I don't know about that. She may be right. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that the government ever care about what's in the public's best interest. And, you know, she spoke about community spirit. Well, she's right. We're all self-serving these days. Well, most of us, where is the community spirit that we used to know? Even back in the 70s and 80s, I remember community spirits. That all seems to have pretty much gone now, doesn't it? The last one today is a lady talking about Katie Hopkins. Have a listen to this.
Hi, Paul. Before you start to read this voice message, I ask that you watch Katie Hopkins' last podcast on YouTube, and it's called Turning Off the UK Electricity is Being Rationed. First and foremost, I wish to thank you so much for all that you're doing while we're living in such chaos and uncertainty, and a government that is incomprehensible. I'm a 73 years old pensioner who shares all your values and concerns, and I'm left wondering how our country can fight to save us all, particularly our precious innocent grandchildren. I'm left thinking, what's next? Then today I turned on the TV and saw a video that I mentioned earlier by Katie Hopkins. She has become someone that I admire and believe in the same way I became to believe in Tommy. I would so appreciate your thoughts on this video. I'm left wondering what on earth is next. In conclusion, in the meantime, I've prepared to have my lights on in the future, but how long is it going to be before they're turned off altogether? I'm such a worried grandparent and concerned to where we are going. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much for that. Look, I've got to be honest, I haven't actually seen that video from Katie, but I get the idea of what it's about. It's about the potential rationing of electricity in the UK. Now, I'm old enough to remember the power blackouts of the 1970s. I remember sitting there with my mum and dad as a young kid, waiting for the electricity to go out and wait for it to come back on. It's not something that is particularly pleasant. It's very annoying, can be dangerous for a lot of people, especially the elderly. But it's 2024. We give billions away in overseas aid. We're propping up thousands upon thousands of people that have come here illegally. We send money all over the world. Some countries have got nuclear capability and we're still sending money to them. But in 2024, we might have to be rationing our electricity. I don't think I have to say any more about the state of this government. Right, guys, that is it for today. So the number, if you want a video or voice message the show, it's 07512 371 006. Something a little bit different today. Look, you guys are the voice of this channel, as much as me, as much as anyone else. So don't be shy. Have your say. You can remain anonymous. And if it's good, if the message is good, I'm sure the people that receive my messages first will send them over to me. We can't put them all on. There are a number of reasons why some of the messages you send don't quite make it to the show. They would be either for legal reasons or another reason that we can't perhaps go into. But if they are omitted, it's basically for your sake as much as anyone else's. We have to keep it clean. We have to keep it decent. Right, don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that as well. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. All the best, everyone.